Help me reach 7,000 subscribers. Please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Your feedback helps make the content better. She started turning her phone face down. That was new. We were at the kitchen island on a Tuesday night, and Lauren set the screen on the quartz like it might stare back and confess. She pulled her hand away fast, almost like a kid stealing a cookie. Then came the quick shower at 9, the "I'm exhausted," and a turned shoulder in bed. She used to fall asleep with a calf draped over my leg. Now she kept to her side like it was a border. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have changed the route a lot earlier. Next morning I made coffee and watched her scroll, head down, mouth tight. I asked about her team at the marketing firm, the new client, the rebrand. She replied with exact words I'd heard before, like she was reading a script she didn't believe. "Long week," she muttered, clutching her mug. "We're slammed." "How late?" I leaned on the counter. "I can push my gym to mornings, pick up dinner, make it easier." "What do you need?" She shrugged. "Don't make a big thing. It's just work." I noticed she didn't touch me when she left. Keys, tote, phone face down into the bag. The door clicked like a period at the end of a sentence I didn't write. I pushed a reset that night. Date night, steak place around the corner, no phones. When she came home, I had a shirt on that she used to say made me look like I had my life together. I plated a simple salad, kept it light. She kicked her shoes off without looking at me. "Babe, can we not? I'm buried." "Dinner's 30 minutes, I told her. "Then you can bury yourself again." She bent to pick up her tote. "Clients scheduled me late. I can't play house tonight." "You've been out late 4 times this month," I replied. "I'm not your tour manager, just asking for a seat map." Her laugh was small and dry. "You don't get marketing. Nights happen. Go lift something heavy and relax." There it was, dismissal dressed as advice. I wiped my hands and changed the plan in one move. "All right," I said. "Then I'm done waiting up. I'm switching my schedule. Mornings at the gym, garage time after work. If you're late, you're late. I'm not building evenings around a guess." Her eyes flicked to me like I'd spoken a different language. "So you're punishing me because I work?" "I'm adapting," I answered. "Also, budget is changing. Joint card is for house stuff only. Everything personal goes on our own cards. We reconcile on Sundays. Less gray, less friction." "That's controlling," she shot back. "It's clear," I said. "Clarity is the opposite of control." She checked her phone, screen still face down, and made a face. "Don't wait up," she added, grabbing her coat. "We've got a client dinner. Text me the place," I replied. "Just in case something happens." "Why?" She smirked. "You gonna swing by and chaperone?" "No," I told her, pocketing my keys. "I'll send the bill for the steak to the right cost center." She rolled her eyes and left. The island looked cleaner without the phone sitting there like a lie. I set a rule for myself that night. No guessing games. If she was out, I shut down the house by 10, set the alarm, and slept. No checking maps, no pacing. I wasn't going to play private detective in my own kitchen. She came back at 1:30, quiet, shoes in hand. I kept my eyes closed, and she stood there a second like she wanted to wake me up to say something that would make both of us smaller. She didn't. Door to the closet, rustle of fabric, shower, cool air. Her side of the bed stayed a border. By Friday her tone changed. She slid into the car at lunch with a little smile. "I made us a reservation tomorrow," she said, looking ahead. "New place on Grove. Heard it's great." "That your idea?" I asked. "Or a client perk you're repurposing?" "Don't be like that," she replied. "We need time. I want to try." I nodded. First illusion, small warmth after pushback. I accepted the reservation, but set my own boundary on top. "Fine," I said, "but I'm done with the neighborhood calendar you run. The block barbecue Sunday? I'm out. I've got to rebuild in the garage. You can go. Take my potato salad if you must," I added, and that got a side eye. "You promised we'd bring the grill." "Plans change," I replied. "I'm not going to stand around while people ask where you are," and I shrug at air. She bit the inside of her cheek. "You're being dramatic." "I'm being practical," I said. "Tell them the truth. Your husband keeps his weekends clean." Saturday at the new place, she turned on the charm. Hand on my forearm. "Questions about my day?" She ordered the chicken she always pretended to hate and laughed at something stupid I said about the guy at the next table mispronouncing the specials. For an hour, it felt like us. "I missed this," she said, touching the rim of her glass. "I know I've been distracted. New accounts, new boss. Pressure. Pressure is real, I told her. Respect is optional. I pay attention to both. She nodded, then reached for her phone when it buzzed. She didn't flip it face down this time. Progress? The sender was H. Simple initial. The message preview showed a thumbs up emoji and nothing else. She turned the phone on silent and smiled as if I hadn't seen it. Want a split dessert? She asked. I'm good, I said. I'll take a coffee. She watched the door instead of me while she waited for the check. Week after, she pushed for me to come to a happy hour with her team. Just for one, she said. Show your face, meet people. Your people know me, I replied. I've grilled for half of them on our patio. New crew, she answered. Come say hi. It matters. Foreign territory. Fine. I adjusted. I'd go, I'd watch, I'd set a public line if I needed to. At the bar, her new boss, Halpern, early 50s, expensive teeth, did a lap as if he owned the city. He clapped shoulders, floated from story to story, never once remembering a name correctly. Lauren stuck close to him like she was his favorite intern who suddenly mattered too much. He liked being looked at. She looked at him like he could solve her calendar. Babe, she turned to me with a bright smile. This is the guy I told you about. He's a shark. Congrats, I said to him, sipping water. I fix elevators. We prefer them steady. He laughed too loudly. You married above your pay grade, pal. He threw in, eyes on Lauren like she was a trophy he'd borrow later. Above mine. I echoed and straightened. I'd say we married equal. But thanks for the math. He moved on, bored. Her coworker Tina slid in next to me. Tina always spoke like she was narrating a reality show. Halpern's a piece of work, she said, staring into her lemon peel. You didn't hear that from me. Didn't hear what? That he likes to mentor late. His calendar opens when his wife's closes. Again, not from me. Lauren reappeared and cut that off. Babe, relax, she said to me, squeezing my shoulder like I was a misbehaving dog. Don't get territorial. Was I supposed to bring a flag to plant? I answered. Someone should have sent an agenda. Her jaw set. You're reading into things. Maybe I'm reading what's in plain text, I replied. Either way, 10 minutes, then I'm bouncing. Long day tomorrow. You never support me, she shot back. One drink and you're out? That's petty. I looked at Tina, who looked away. I turned back to Lauren. Support looks like this, I said, loud enough for the nearby circle to hear. I'm proud of your work. I won't be an accessory. If you need me at events, I'll show, I'll be polite, and I'll leave when my standards say it's time. That's the policy. Policy. She laughed like it was the funniest word she'd ever heard. Policy, I repeated. Write it down. She pulled me aside near the coat rack, voice low and sharp. If you can't handle basic networking, maybe sit these out. Not a problem, I answered. I'll sit them out. And I'm taking my Saturday mornings back permanently. No more volunteering at your charity meetups unless I sign up myself. Clarity. That's ridiculous, she said. Write it down. I told her again, grabbed my jacket, and walked out to the parking lot where the air was honest. As I pulled away, my dashboard glowed blue, and my phone lit with a text from H. Not to me. I shouldn't have seen it, but her screen had mirrored to our car once for a call and hadn't disconnected from the car's memory. The banner flicked. Nice work tonight. Then it disappeared. I pulled over, deleted her device from the car settings, and drove home in silence. I slept fine. The message came 2 weeks later, 2:08 a.m., a blue bubble on my screen in the dark. Busy with clients. Going to be here all night, don't worry. No punctuation, just the pace of somebody typing while moving. I stared at it. Client calls at 2 in the morning? In the same building with security and badges and lights that shut off at 10 unless you wave your card every hour? I got out of bed, dressed, grabbed a brown paper bag, dropped in 2 sandwiches, potato chips, a soda. If I was wrong, I'd look like a man who brought dinner to his wife. I could live with that. If I was right, I'd stop living with a lie. I drove to her office park in the North End. The lot was a mirror, empty, sodium lights humming. The main doors were locked. The lobby had that expensive lobby smell that says, we pay cleaners more than interns. A security guard with a book looked up from his chair. He was mid-60s, buzz cut, name tag, Frank. Evening, I said. Morning, he corrected, tipping his book. Building's closed. My wife texted. Said she's in the Halpern and Company suite. Marathon night. I brought sandwiches just in case. I lifted the bag. Frank smiled. Not unkind. We lock the tenant floors at 5 p.m., sir. Been that way since January. No after hours unless there's a maintenance ticket, and there isn't. He tapped a binder. She's not upstairs? I asked. No one's upstairs, he replied. And Halpern left with the blonde from his department before lunch. Your wife, Lauren, right? She was with them. They all walked out together at 12:30. I remember because the elevator stuck for a second and I had to reset it. Job hazard, he added, nodding at me like we were men who fix things. I leaned on the counter with the bag. You sure? He looked at me, then at the sandwiches. You want me to be wrong. I get that, but I'm not. Sorry. I took a breath, then did the most impolite thing I could do politely. Frank, can we take a selfie? His eyebrows went up. Never had a man ask me that at 3 in the morning. I want to make someone's night, I said. Promise it's not about you. He stood, came around the desk. Let's do it quick. We took it with the lobby sign behind us, his security logo, my bag in my hand, both of us looking like two guys who know where the keys are. I sent it to Lauren with one line. Don't rush with your clients. You've got nowhere to come back to. Frank watched me hit send. He didn't say good luck. He said, drive safe. I will. I added, thanks for being straight. That I can do, he replied, sat back down, opened his book. I drove home slow, not because I was sad, but because I wanted a clean head. The paper bag sat next to me like evidence that never gets used. At a red light, I ate one of the sandwiches. It tasted like a decision. I parked, unlocked the door, and reset the alarm. 10 minutes later, the garage shrieked and the door flew open like a TV scene. Lauren barreled in, hair pulled back, shoes in hand, eyes too wide. What are you doing? She fired right away. Why are you being like this? We wrapped early. We were at the office, but finished up. Traffic was crazy. Stop. I poured water into a glass and drank. Frank said the building's been closed since 5. He watches it for a living. He recognized you. He said you left with your boss at lunch. She blinked, regrouped. Why are you listening to some guard? He doesn't know my schedule. He knows his building. I answered, set the glass down. And I believe him more than I believe a wife who hasn't looked me in the eye for a month. Unbelievable, she shot back. You're stalking me. You're obsessed. This is why I work late. You suffocate. You've got someone else, I replied. Voice flat. It's obvious. I'm not asking for details. I don't chase details. I look at facts. That's not true, she said, louder. Nothing happened. You don't trust me. You're right, I said. I don't. You lost the key to that door, and I'm not rebuilding the lock for you. She paced 2 steps, then softened all at once, reaching for my arm. Can we just talk? I'm tired. Let's sleep. We'll sort it out tomorrow. I'm sorry I've been distant. Work is a mess. Please. Second illusion, excessive softness after the hit. I stepped back and she grabbed air. Here's what's going to happen, I told her. You're leaving tonight. You take your personal things and go to your sister or a hotel. Tomorrow I'll text you a time to pick up the rest in boxes. Keys and access codes are changed by noon. Cards are off. We will handle the paperwork quickly and cleanly. No commentary, no relitigation. That's the plan. You can't do this, she snapped, the heat back in a blink. We're married. Were, I said. Past tense at 3 a.m. You're overreacting, she insisted. You're throwing away 7 years because some bored guard wants to feel important. I'm ending this because you treated our house like a storage unit, I answered. You check in to keep your stuff, not your word. She started to cry. Not loud, not convincing, just wet enough to suggest a screen test. I made mistakes, she whispered. Not my problem to grade, I replied. Bag, shoes, charger. I'll wait. You're cruel, she hissed. No, I said. I'm done. We stood in the dim kitchen. The clock on the oven read 3:05. She threw a handful of words at me that bounced off the tile, then grabbed a tote and started packing. In the hallway she stopped. So this is it, she demanded. You won't even let me explain? Explain to someone who needs a story, I answered. I need results. Right now, the result is distance. She left, slamming the door so hard the blinds rattled. The house liked the quiet that came after. I woke at 7 without the sound of her curling iron. I made coffee, opened my laptop, and filled out the forms. I didn't use words like, I was hurt, or she promised. I attached the signed page in the portal, set a meeting after work to update my accounts, and texted her 2 times. Once with a pickup window, once with a list of what I packed. Clothes, toiletries, pictures she liked, a jewelry box she kept on the dresser. No pettiness. No anything that wasn't hers. My buddy Mike stopped by the garage mid-morning. Mike runs a small HVAC company. Talks like his truck with the ladder rack can hear him. "You look like a Monday," he said, peeking in. "It's Sunday," I replied, wiping my hands. "But yeah. You good?" "I'm clear," I told him. "Clarity is very good." He nodded slow. "You want me around when she comes for boxes?" "No," I answered. "I want a witness with a clipboard, not a bouncer." I asked our neighbor, Mrs. Grant. She keeps records for the HOA. She'll do fine. Mrs. Grant showed up with a notepad and a pen like she was auditing a parade. "List items," she said. 2 signatures. "We're not children. You should run the government," I told her. "Lord help us," she replied, then took the chair by the door like a judge. Lauren came at noon with sunglasses and a quiet face. She looked at Mrs. Grant, then at me. "Really?" she asked. "Documentation," Mrs. Grant said before I could speak. "It keeps peace." Lauren packed fast, breathing through her nose the whole time. "You're making a big mistake," she muttered once. "I made a decision," I answered. "There's a difference." At the end, she put the last box in her trunk and turned like she wanted a different scene. "I can fix this," she tried. "You can fix your life?" I replied. "This part is closed." She left. Mrs. Grant clicked her pen and handed me the sheet. "Clean," she said. "Keep a copy." "Thanks," I told her. Monday, I walked into my shop on time and told my guys I'd be off-grid for a few hours. I went to the bank, closed a joint account, left enough for the last electric bill, opened a new one, and switched all deposits. At lunch, I changed the smart lock code from the default pattern she liked to a random string I didn't even try to memorize. I just saved it properly. Then I sent her the legal notice and a polite line. "All housekeeping settled. We can sign on Friday." She didn't respond for 2 days. Others did. Tina called. "I didn't say anything," she said without hello. "About what?" "About seeing you in the lobby selfie with Frank," she rattled. "Somebody sent it around. People talk." "Not me." "People always talk," I replied. Tina exhaled into the phone. "Word is Halpern told HR he doesn't want a scene. They're saying you made things uncomfortable." "I stood in a lobby with a sandwich," I answered. "If that's uncomfortable, their chairs are too soft." "HR is nervous," she said. "They hate whispers. They act first." "Not my circus," I told her. "Look out for yourself." 2 hours later, Lauren texted, "We need to talk." "Please." "No," I replied. "Email for logistics only." She called anyway. I let it go to voicemail. The message was breathless and scripted. "I'm sorry, okay? I've been under pressure. I messed up. I let someone get in my head. I want to come home. Please give me a chance." I listened to it once, then saved it where I keep statements I might need if someone rewrites history. I didn't answer. By Thursday, a rumor reached me through a different channel. One of our client's maintenance guys knows a guy in her building. Heard she's out. The guy told me over a control panel. Boss is cleaning house. Loose chatter. I didn't share that with anyone. Information that proves your point is still just gossip until it's paperwork. But the next morning, Lauren sent a clipped text that had a shape to it. "Halpern let me go? He had to. Too many rumors. I just need to talk to you face to face. I wish you the best," I wrote back. Friday at 10 for signatures. Public place. Coffee shop on Mason. 15 minutes. She showed at 10 in a dress she wears for holidays. Eyes tired, hair too perfect. She sat, folded her hands, unfolded them, tried to smile. "I know what it looked like," she started. "It wasn't what you think. I'm not here to compare angles," I replied. "I'm here to sign." She stared at me, then softened again, the big play. "I made the worst mistake of my life," she said. "I believed someone who said I deserved more. He said he'd help my career, that I was special. It's over." He panicked. "He's a coward. I see it now. Please, one more chance. I'll do therapy. I'll give you my phone, my passwords, whatever." She pushed her phone across the table like it was a sacrifice. "I don't need your phone," I answered. "I need respect. And you don't have it for me. You have it for rooms." "That's not fair," she whispered. "It's exact," I said. "You didn't just step out of bounds. You rewrote the rulebook without telling me, then graded me for not memorizing it. You were distant, too," she tried. "With your shop, your routines. You never asked me about. I asked, I cut in. You gave me slogans. I needed you to give me you. She swallowed. I love you, she said, and I didn't flinch. You love your reflection, I answered. It's the only thing you protected. Please, she said again, reaching for my hand. I'll earn it back. You can't, I replied. And I wouldn't let you try. I'm not a loan officer. I don't run payment plans for respect. I slid the folder across the table. These are simple. You keep your personal items. I keep the house I paid for. We split nothing else because there's nothing else to split. I'm not interested in punishing you. I'm interested in finishing. So that's it. Her voice rose. People looked. That's it, I said. We started with a choice. We end with one. She signed with a violent little dot over her name like it could puncture paper. I signed calm. We stood. She tried one last tactic. Hands on my chest, the old gentle smile. I'll make you proud again, she whispered. You'll make someone else proud, I replied, stepped back, and let her hands fall. Be safe. I walked out into the sun and didn't look back. My coffee tasted like it had a backbone. The weeks after weren't a montage set to a song. They were work. I filled the house with air again. I fixed a squeaky hinge that hadn't bothered me until now. I bought a second toolbox for the truck so I wasn't borrowing from myself. Friday nights, I took the long way home. Saturdays, I took the boat out with Mike at dawn. No beers, just water and old stories. I stopped checking my phone like it owed me answers. I slept the whole night. Neighbors adjusted. Mrs. Grant nodded with something like approval when I mowed at 8 instead of 10. Our other neighbor, Rita, stopped me at the mailbox. Lauren moved? She asked, careful. Yes, I said. She okay? She'll land, I replied. She's resourceful. Rita looked like she wanted the uncut version. I gave her the short one. We didn't want the same life, I said. She nodded, satisfied with the grown-up answer. Work ran steady. My crew stopped asking me if I was good by week 2. I trained a new kid, Devin, who showed up early and put his phone away without being told. I gave him a raise after a job where he caught a wiring mistake before I did. Good eye, I told him. Use it everywhere. A month out, I went to a cookout at Mike's brother's place. Late light, smoke, kids screaming about nothing. A woman named Claire asked if I wanted a burger, then asked what I did, then asked about my boat. She never once asked about my ex. We talked about lake levels and the easiest way to winterize a dock. When people went for refills, she looked at me like a person, not a project. You always this calm? She asked. Only when the steak's not burnt, I replied. She laughed, for real. No performance. We traded numbers without theater. I heard about Lauren twice after that. Once, from Tina, who texted a screenshot of a company-wide email. We wish Lauren well in her future endeavors. Corporate for she's gone. Tina added. You didn't hear it from me, but she tried to come back through a different department. HR shut it down. I sent back a thumbs up. No comment. Second time, Mrs. Grant mentioned she'd seen Lauren swing by the house one afternoon, catch herself at the end of the driveway, and turn around. She looked thin, Mrs. Grant said. She'll eat again, I answered. We all do. 2 months in, papers were final. I didn't throw a party or post a quote about growth. I changed oil in my truck, ordered pizza, and watched a baseball game by myself without pausing it for a fight that wasn't coming. My phone buzzed once around 9. Unknown number. I didn't look. Later, when I did, it was a short message. I'm sorry. I archived it. Some things don't require a reply. The next morning, I took Claire to a diner that doesn't pretend to be anything else. We sat at the counter, and the waitress called me honey even though she's my age. Claire asked about the shop and my guys and the stubborn freight elevator downtown. I asked about her classroom. She told me stories that made me want to donate every spare ladder to the school because their ceiling tiles keep sagging. On the way to the truck, she bumped my shoulder with her shoulder. You seem free, she said. I am, I replied. I kept the parts of me I like. Good, she said. Those are the parts one called back for. We drove to the lake, launched the boat, and spoke in the kind of sentences that end when they need to end. No scripts. No face-down phones. The sun burned off a thin layer of fog, and the water looked like water. Before we cast off, she glanced at my left hand, where the skin is a shade lighter. Any ghosts? She asked, not unkind. Just lessons, I told her. One big one. And that is, don't beg for respect, I said. Give it to yourself first, and the rest organizes. She nodded like she'd already learned that somewhere harder than a lake. We took the first slow lap, and the motor hummed steady. The house felt different when we came back at dusk. Not quieter, just mine. Tools in their places. Keys hung where they belonged. No screensaver lying to me on the kitchen counter. I put the anchor rope back on its hook in the garage and shut the door with my elbow, a small, ordinary move that felt like order. Lauren's life kept moving somewhere I didn't need to see. I heard she was staying with her sister for a bit, then a friend. Someone said she was doing temp work while she figures it out. That phrase always means not great. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I went to work the next morning and fixed an old elevator in a hospital so a nurse didn't have to haul supplies up the stairs. My last contact with Lauren was a letter she slipped in my mailbox with a spare key taped to the flap. Inside was a single sentence on lined paper. I thought I could trade up. I traded away. I put the key on the counter and looked at it like an artifact. Then I dropped it into a bag of hardware I was donating to a neighbor's garage sale. Someone else could find a use for a shape that didn't fit my locks. When I lay down that night, I did a small, final thing. I set my phone on the nightstand face up. It lit the ceiling for a second and went dark, honest about it. I wasn't waiting for anything. If she ever asks what the last straw was, I'll tell her the truth. It wasn't the 2 a.m. text, or the closed building, or the guard who knew his job. It was the moment I realized I'd turned into a guy who was willing to be lied to in his own house. I don't know that guy. I don't let him live here. So when I sent her that selfie from the lobby, it wasn't a threat. It was a receipt. And when she crashed through the door and tried to turn water into smoke, I laughed because sometimes